So today I'm talking about a Toyota with the P0156 code, what it is, and how you go about fixing it. So what is a Toyota P0156 code? With an O2 sensor circuit malfunction, bank 2 sensor 2. And what does this mean? Well, the onboard computer uses oxygen sensors located on the exhaust to know how much oxygen has been burnt off after combustion, and it's seen a problem with one of these, so it's going to have to be troubleshooted to know why. And some of the possible causes of this, well, it could be a bad sensor, it could be in the wiring, and possibly a blown fuse. And so the first thing to do when you get this code is to go locate bank 2 sensor 2 oxygen sensor, and there can be some differences depending on the year and the engine type. And the basics of what's going on is that bank 1 is going to be the side of the engine with the number 1 cylinder, and then bank 2 is going to be the opposite side. And so if you find the number 1 cylinder, then that'll be bank 1, and then the opposite of that will be bank 2. And then sensor 2 is going to be the second sensor going down on that side. And so it's always a good idea to get a diagram or a layout of where the oxygen sensors are all located on your particular Toyota, since like I said, there can be some differences. For example, this is a 2007 Camry 3.5 liter V6 engine, and as you can see, bank 2 sensor 2 is right here. And the basics of what's going on with these oxygen sensors is that the first sensor, sensor 1, is also called the upstream oxygen sensor, and it's going to be before the catalytic converter. And then sensor 2, which is after the catalytic converter, is going to be called the downstream oxygen sensor. And so this sensor 2 is going to be the downstream oxygen sensor. And so once you locate the bank 2 sensor 2 oxygen sensor, the next thing to do is check out this wiring real good. Be sure it's all plugged in good. There's no opens, cuts, or anything like that. It didn't get burnt on the exhaust and it has a problem or anything. And basically just keep in mind that anything wrong with the wiring, open, short, bad connection, anything like this is going to cause the same symptoms as a bad sensor. So you want to check that out. Be sure that's all good. And another thing to keep in mind is that this is on a fuse. There'll be a fuse box inside the engine compartment, and there'll be a fuse in there for these oxygen sensors. And if that blows, it can cause issues. And they will be labeled differently, but there will be a fuse inside there. So for example, here's a 2005 Toyota Tacoma, and right here it says AF heater, 15 amp fuse. That's the oxygen sensor. These new oxygen sensors also have heater elements in it to monitor the catalytic converter. So that's why it says heater. And this Toyota also has a relay right here, AF heater. So if that went bad, that would also cause an issue. But basically, keep in mind that these are on a fuse. If that blows, then it can cause issues. And so if you check all that out and that all looks good, no blowing fuses, nothing wrong with the wiring, very likely that sensor has just failed and just needs to be replaced. There is one thing to keep in mind, that sometimes these require a special tool, not all the time. Sometimes you can't get by without it, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they can be recessed in. You really have to go and look at it to see if you're going to need it or not. So for example here, very likely you wouldn't need it. You can get on it with an open-end wrench possibly, or cut the wire, get on it with the socket, and then put the new one in with an open-end wrench. But sometimes they can be recessed in, and sometimes they do require the special tool to get around that wire and get them back in. So you want to go look at it and be sure. I'll put a link down below if you need to check out what this tool is, but that is something to keep in mind. And so that's basically it. I just want to do a real quick video on how you go about fixing a Toyota with the P0156 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.